Everyone knows about Rangiri Dambulla only as a cave temple, or as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Many people do not know that before Dambulla began as a temple, it was an ancient hermitage where forest-dwelling monks lived. Also, the British government took action to punish and take revenge on the Dambulla Temple for helping the national liberation movement against the whites. A name was formed as follows. The Sinhala word Damba refers to a type of fruit tree as well as a mountain. Ul means water. Damba Ula is the spring of water that rises from the mountain. It is said that this temple was named Dambulla because of the Ula flowing from the dam. It is believed that the spring of water that flows drop by drop from the cave of the Maharaja Lena of the temple never dries up. This is what gave rise to the name of the temple. A large clay pot is kept to collect the water from that spring. However, an inscription in the temple states that the ancient name of this place was Achapabata, Walaskala. The use of the name Dambulla began during the Polonnaruwa era. In the inscriptions of the famous king Sri Nasankamala of Polonnaruwa, this temple is called Dambulu. How King Valagamba built the cave. Folklore states that King Valagamba, 43 to 17 BC, was the first to build this temple. While hunting, a Veda named Geetha saw a large cave and told the king about it. Knowing that the cave was suitable for a temple, after he became king, he carved holes in the caves and had temple constructions done. The king, who built the Maharaja Viharaya, the Paspilima Viharaya, and the Devaraja Viharaya, was in trouble because he did not have a suitable carpenter for the statue depicting the Parinibbana Manchaka of the Devaraja Viharaya. Folklore says that then King Sakdev came in the guise of a stonemason and made the statue depicting the Parinibbana Manchaka of the Buddha. Restoration. The Mahavamsa states that King Vijay Bahu I, 1055 to 1114 of Polonnaruwa had the dilapidated Dambulla cave repaired and donated a village for its maintenance. The Dambulla Vihara inscription of that king mentions that, during the reign of King Nisankamala, 1187 to 1196, the dilapidated temple was restored again and the statues were covered with gold. This inscription is the longest inscription in Dambulla. It is carved on a rock near the cave, which is currently south of the temple entrance. The inscription states that the king had the reclining, sitting, and standing statues in the Dambulla Vihara gold-plated and spent 700,000 rupees on performing pujas and named the temple Swarnagiri Guhaya. The Pujavali written during the Dambadeni era also describes how this king renovated the Dambulla Vihara. According to the Dambulla Vihara inscription, King Wimala Dharmasurya, 1592 to 1604, began the renovation of the Dambulla Vihara, but he did not get the opportunity to complete it. After that, King Senarath, 1604 to 1635, completed the renovation. King Senarath assigned the renovation work to Melpitia Abesingmadianse. The inscription states that it took 3 years and 63 Buddha statues were repaired. The Pothuhara inscription describes the renovation of the temples by King Kirthi Sri Rajasinghe. The king, who renovated the Devaraja Vihara, Mahajara Vihara, and Paschima Vihara, had a rock between them cleaned and a new temple was built. It is now known as the Maha Alu Vihara. However, Professor Mangala Ilangasinghe states that it is surprising that the author of the Mahavamsa forgot about these renovation works. 153 Buddha statues in 5 cave temples. There are 5 cave temples built along the mountain. They are called Devraja Viharaya, Maharaja Viharaya, Maha Aluth Viharaya, Paschima Viharaya, and Devana Aluth Viharaya, respectively. The second Aluth Viharaya was built in the 18th century by the Duole Adhikara. This shows that the Dambulla we see today is a temple that has been developing for centuries. Each cave temple is filled with sitting statues, standing statues, and reclining statues. There are 153 Buddha statues with various mudras. Apart from that, statues of kings Walagamba, Kirthi Nasankamala, Kirthi Sri Rajasinghe, and the 4 deities Upalvan, Tara Devagana, Natha, and Vishnu can also be seen. The artists of that time used various types of media to create statues, including wood, clay, brick, and granite. The most common ones are statues made of clay and plastered. The statue of Vishnu, which is housed in a covered section of the Devaraja Viharaya, is said to be made of Rathandan wood. A gallery of murals. The largest collection of murals in Sri Lanka can be seen at the Dambulla Viharaya. It is spread over 20,000 square feet. The largest number of paintings are in the caves. All these paintings belong to the Kandy period. Jataka stories related to the previous incarnations of the Buddha, various scenes of the Buddha's character, deities, and various geometric designs can be seen in these. The Maharaja Cave and the new Viharaya have the largest number of paintings belonging to the 18th century. The paintings in Dambulla were painted by the Nilagama generation of painters. This is also indicated in the Nilagama inscription. Bor Sanghavas. There are 4 main monasteries where monks affiliated with the Rangiri Dambulla Viharaya reside. They are the Middle Temple, the Upper Temple, Uyanwate Temple No. 1, and Uyanwate Temple No. 2. All religious activities and Theva pujas of the Rangiri Dambulla Rajamaha Viharaya are performed by the monks of those temples. Temple Revenge for the Matale Rebellion. The Dambulla Temple was the headquarters of the Matale Rebellion, in which the Sinhalese took up arms against British rule. The monks here had gathered the people against the British with the divine power. The Dambulla Temple was also a place that sheltered and advised the rebels. On July 30th, 1848, Gadaladeniya Banda was anointed as the Sinhalese king in the central courtyard of the Dambulla Temple. It is said that about 100,000 people attended this coronation ceremony. Giranegam Indajothi Thero, the chief incumbent of the Dambulla Temple, took the lead in this. The Katahapala Venerable and several other monks supported it. After the Matale Rebellion was defeated, the British took action to punish the temple. The first thing they did was to loot the Dambulla Temple and burn down the Sangha. The value of the property seized from Dambulla is reported to be £2,241. The monks were also arrested, and the Katahapala monk was shot dead. The leaders of the rebellion, including Gadaladeniya Banda, were also killed. All the rights of the Dambulla Viharaya were abolished and transferred to the Sigiriya Viharaya, which was friendly to the British at that time. The British had stated that they would transfer it temporarily. However, to this day, that transfer is still held by Sigiriya Viharaya itself. Therefore, it is the Sigiriya Viharaya that has the right to appoint the chief incumbent of the Dambulla Viharaya. Caves and cave inscriptions that we do not see in Dambulla. In addition to the cave temples that we visit, there are many other caves hidden on the slopes of Dambulla rock. Those caves, which were carved by monks in ancient times, are now covered by forest. Some of those caves also have inscriptions. There are many caves in the western part of the main rock, and one cave has been found on the eastern side of the rock. It has been revealed that Dambulla originally existed as a forest settlement, where a large number of monks lived in caves, like Mihintale. The number of inscriptions found in the caves of Dambulla rock is 35. These inscriptions are Brahmi cave inscriptions dating back to the time when Buddhism was introduced to this country. These inscriptions tell about an offering made by a donor to a monk group that had not come from the 4 directions. 3 of these inscriptions mention kings. 2 of the inscriptions bear the title Maharaja. One mentions a king named Gamani Tissa. The second, Paranavithana, states that he was the brother of King Devanampiatissa, who reigned from 137 to 119 BC. However, Paranavithana does not provide any evidence for this. The inscriptions also mention a king named Gamani Abaya. Mangala Ilangasingha suggests that this king may have been King Wadagamini or Walagamba. The other inscription mentioned here is about a king named Putakana building a staircase in Dambulla. Professor Senarath Paranavithana has pointed out that this king was Kudakanabaya, 16 to 18 BC. The other great king mentioned in an inscription here is Nisankamala, whom we discussed earlier. Among those who have offered offerings at the Dambulla caves are the Paramakas or regional chiefs, Tissa, Brahmana Tissa, Sumana, Sona, Fasadeva, Chuda, householders, an irrigation officer, and village heads. Monks have also offered offerings at the caves.